Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Focus Atlanta. I am your host, Keisha Lancelin. Thanks so much for tuning in with us this Sunday morning. In this week's episode, we'll discuss strategies to reduce chemical exposure from everyday items. We'll learn how to keep post-holiday items out of the landfills, and Wells Fargo will help us to save money for the future. We'll begin with an introduction to Essayon Construction Group. I'm here with CEO Israel Brown.
Good to see you, Keisha. Good to see you.
Thank you for making time for us. I've got to know a little bit more about your business. What is Essayon
Yeah,
Construction?
man, I'm so glad you asked. So, Essayon Construction Group, we're multifamily builders. So we started out, I tell you, we started out doing multifamily framing, and we moved from multifamily framing to general contracting, and now we're even starting to do some development, all with the goal of fighting affordable housing.
When you think about Atlanta and the growth of this city, why
Mhm.
is it so important to
Well,
you?
for us, is more than just building structures. It's providing that essential need that every human should be able to be in a home. Every human should be able to have that shelter and protection. So we need to make it affordable and do everything we can do to put people in homes. So our mission, why I get up in the morning and why I do what I do, and it kind of falls down into to the company. For us, it's about creating economic opportunities and doing work with good people. And so our mission is building people, building places, and creating economic opportunities for us. And so I didn't start the mission with affordable housing. Like we didn't start in affordable housing. It's been a need and a journey that we've seen along the way. I started it to create economic opportunities for folks that look like me in the construction space. And the goal was always to be general contracting, but a poor black guy from Macon with no capital, you don't start there. You sometimes you have to start putting work in place and building it up and building it up and building a reputation of credibility and doing good work, and then moving into what you really want to do, and that's build for the people.
You know, when you think about where you have come to,
Mhm.
what's next? Like, have you thought about what the next step is for the company? Like, what do you want to do? What you're
Yes,
still growing. What are you growing
yes.
into?
Oh, that's a great question. So I'll tell you the story. And it's very early, so I'm praying about this and still we'll see what God does with it. But we started to be general contractors. And so general contractors, you control the whole scope of the project. But we didn't have the capital, the credibility, the clout to start there. So we had to be able to put work in place. And so putting work in place for us was doing building the structure. So we became a framing company. A part of our company was all about framing, multifamily framing. And finally we made the switch to general contracting. And as I'm in the space of general contracting, I'm seeing that it's a great space, but to have more influence, we need to be developing. We don't need to just build what a developer, his idea. We need to be able to take those ideas and be the developer and the builder. And so I would equate it to if you wanted to be a doctor, and so but you started as a nurse, right? And you worked your way up from a nurse and you did really good as a nurse. And when you became a doctor, you do really good as a doctor, but you realize that to make a bigger impact, you need to own the hospital. And so that's where we're going to transition into becoming multifamily developers versus just multifamily builders. So that's the next step for us, if God say the same.
Oh,
So
wow. You know what? Congratulations. Thank
yeah,
you for
thank you.
what you're doing in this community. I can't let you go though without giving us a website. Is there a place that we can kind of
Yes,
tap in and see where
yes,
you are and what you're doing
yes.
and how we can maybe be a part?
So www.essayoncg.com, and that's ESSAYONCG.com.
Thanks so much for your time. It was a pleasure to meet
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Be
All right,
blessed.
guys. It's happening right here in our own backyard. But you know what? When we see these things, when we see these multifamily properties, when we see things popping up, we don't often think about who's behind it and what's
Hmm.
pushing the initiative forward.
Hmm.
But with those things that are happening, the community is just growing and benefiting from it. So please take the
That's right.
opportunity to go to the website, learn more, and stay tuned to more Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back.